All right, good morning and welcome to the annual Heart Men's Wrestling Media Day. I'm your host, Tony Hager with IA Wrestle. Next up on our list, we're excited to talk about William Penn, and we're joined by head coach Aaron Scott and Cale Bunce. This is, the season is here, guys, and you guys have been leading up to it and getting back to classes, right? But it's real now, and we've got dual scheduled here, real and tournament scheduled really soon. So, how you guys doing? How you guys feeling?
Yeah, I think we're doing really well. I think, we finished, not quite where we wanted to last year or reaching our potential, but left much to be desired. But I think we are carrying that that feeling with us, and also kind of excitement for kind of the potential that this team has. And I think we're focusing on training, keeping that excitement going, and starting off at a higher place than where we ended last season. And that's kind of been our focus. And I've been excited because these guys have been responding really well to our preseason training so far. They've been working hard. They've been, pushing each other. We've had a influx of some transfers. So that was kind of something that we had to kind of deal with, that we wanted to make sure that everybody came in and was a team and a family. And these guys have adapted really well to that. And it's exciting. It's kind of, they feel like a family already, and that they've always been a part of it, for the past few years. So, and, we got a good leader. Kale's our leader on the team, and he's stepped up, and he's done a really good job.
And to go
And
off what
and
Coach was just saying there, I think like having those guys that transferred, they still have the hunger that we had, because they had the kind of similar season last year, didn't get what they wanted out of it. So I think we were like already bonded before that, before we even met, just because we had the same goals. So I think we kind of bonded right in the beginning, and we're ready to rock the season out.
and coach, can you just quickly just kind of explain just how that all happened of coaches and programs kind of combining, and why you're excited about that?
Yeah, so back, I think it was in April, end of March, early part of April, one of the colleges down the road in our conference closed its doors kind of unexpectedly, to many people. And at that time, we had a vacant women's head coaching position. So it was very easy transition for that head coach to come over to fill in the void there with our women's program. And then with that, we had to kind of he had to re-recruit his team, and we had to kind of recruit ourselves, or recruit those guys to our
Yeah.
program. It made it easier with that coach following, but it was good. I think the best thing about that was, they came into some of the places where we really needed some depth, and they already had that experience. So it's worked out really well for our team. We've kind of solidified some holes, and just kind of, and a big part of wrestling success is having good practice partners. So we just added, 8 more guys in our room that that already have that college experience, that want to be great, and they want to push each other. So that just, combining that, that pushed our guys, and really helped our team out. So as unfortunate as it was for that program, it really helped our program, and those guys have found, and us being close to where they were, kind of helped them, and not really have much of a hiccup as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think knowing your AD too, and he's progressive and pretty aggressive too.
Yeah.
This was just a great opportunity, I think, for both programs to staffs and find a home for these wrestlers, right? And so
Yeah.
William Penn is that, and I think a lot of people in Iowa were excited. I'm people in the heart are probably kind of a little excited, but not excited. It just helps elevate how tough this conference really is, right? And looking at your roster, there's a reason why Cale is here with us today, Coach. And what does he mean, to your guys' program, and kind of getting these new guys in of of making that team atmosphere, like you guys mentioned a couple of times, and make sure that we're meshing well.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you want somebody that's as a leader, it helps that you're successful and you're getting the results that you want. But I think what's more important in a leader is someone that is strong in character and does the things that you ask them to do and meets the standards of the team and the program. And Kale's been that guy. He's been the guy that has commanded respect and held this team accountable and bought into what we feel is important to a successful program, and he's been able to model that behavior and lead the rest of the team. And he's likable and relational. He can relate to guys and talk with them, and and he came in and did a really good job of taking those guys under his wing and treating them just like they were family. So he was the perfect man for the job, and he's done remarkably well.
Kale, I can't imagine, coach says those things to you face to face many times. That's just the way it is as dudes. And my next question is just kind of like, does that kind of make you feel good about why you came to William Penn? How did you make it there? How did you land in Oskaloosa?
Uh, so I went to JUCO straight out of high school, and one of our coaches, Nate Sturgis, he went to the same JUCO and then came to William Penn. And actually, I was completely done wrestling. I was kind of a little bit fed up with the situation I was in, and Coach Sturgis, he called me and was like, "Hey, I think we got a really good opportunity for you." So I talked it over with my family. I was like, "Hey, like this could be a really good opportunity." I came and met with Coach Scott, seeing what he had going on. I really liked the smaller school, the smaller dynamic, and just Coach Scott. He had the ways of turning this program right around. He told me that in a few years we're going to be really good, and like he said, how I just had to buy into that program. If you don't trust something, then you won't get anything out of it. And I just put my trust in Coach Scott. And I mean, yeah, working hard sucks, but at the end of the day, the harder you work, the better you get. So I think it
Absolutely.
was really the right decision. And I thank Coach Sturgis and Coach Scott for taking me under after, I kind of thought I was done wrestling.
And that's always great to hear, because we hear stories of wrestlers. It's always hard, like, when do you hang it up? When are you burnt out? Or, and when we leave it, we always wish we had it.
Yeah.
We had it back. And, if you carry that to, like, what if I lose wrestling tomorrow? You might go about your day a lot differently, right? So how do you, Kale, carry that into the wrestling room to your teammates? What's the energy like right now? Because the opportunity is here. It's here right now to not only change your individual, trajectory for the season, for the national championship, but as a program itself, and helping Coach Scott and really take the Statesman to where they want it to be.
As a leader, I think the more I stay motivated, it helps them stay motivated. If they see me down and in the dumps every day, they're not going to be motivated to come in and practice. So if I come in and work my butt off and push guys into the wall, push guys in the trash can, they see that and they want to do that. It brings a really good energy into the room, because I mean, once in the room, we're all bulls, we're all fighting in there for a spot, and once we're out of the room, we all be friends after that. So I think if I just come in and work my butt off every day, when they see that, it makes them want to work harder. It doesn't want to make them go in there and lay around and not do anything. The more guys you have working hard in your room, I mean, the guys that don't work hard stick out. So when you got everybody working hard and nobody's really sticking out, we're all just grinding for the same purpose. So I really think that if I just keep working hard, it's going to keep our
Absolutely.
motivation.
Absolutely. And I mean, a big event that I'm sure, Coach, you've got circled on your calendar for this team, February 17th, Hart Men's Wrestling Conference Championship. It's become an annual event on your guys' campus. Beautiful facilities, right? I'm sure that your bosses love, you guys hosting this championships. For those that maybe haven't stepped foot on campus, what is your favorite thing about when, showing a recruit that room? I mean, those lights that I believe it's Musco has just your guys' duels and your lighting and your atmosphere is really high level in the Hart Conference.
Yeah, it really is. And I think that the more that we can display that, because I think that's what gets people excited. We're kind of talking about excitement and enthusiasm. And, we got to have that in our program, and, we got to have that within ourselves. And I think many times that, we can do that internally, and then we can have some of those external factors that can help bring that out in us or create a spark, and I think having that environment that we do helps bring out the best in us. It's not the only thing, but it's like that spark or something to keep us going or something to get us excited. And, and it's a good, like you said, for recruits to see that, that gets them excited. They want to compete, a lot, we want people that want to compete on the big stage and are going to big tournaments. And this is a big tournament for our conference, and for, I think for the nation. It's one of the top conference tournaments, toughest conference tournaments in the NAIA. So we want guys to see that. We want guys to envision themselves competing in that, and having the facilities that we do also enables us, William Penn, and our guys to be able to host that. And I think that's fun to have that in front of our fans and our support system. So it's it kind of all feeds into each other. And it's a really, really great thing.
And from an outsider's perspective, with the addition of the women's program, it does feel like you guys have worked together really well. I know that you guys done some duels where the women have gone before. There's been talk about, intertwining, multiple duels across the conference. You guys have 3 home, Hart opponents at home in November. You guys are going to the Grandview Open, Friends Invitational. Just speaking of, I guess, the duels, and I'm just going to put the tournaments aside here, is that important to your program to try to get the women's program involved in those? Because it building that hype and keeping that crowd experience great for the Hart.
Yeah, it is. I think it is it's important to continue to help build that program, because a lot of times the success of each other, kind of helps the other one. And that's been a focus of ours, is to help build that program and help get William Penn Wrestling on the mat. And now, the girls, they're a solid, they're probably a solid standalone program. They don't really need, not that they really needed us. We helped them before, but I think it's good for both of us now. But I think that, as that program was getting started in its early phases, it was more important now. I think that they can stand on their own, and be just fine. And I think that, we will continue to try to get more. I think, as the fans of the women's come to the men and the fans of men come to the women, I think that helps get more people in the stands and more people excited. But it's been a really good thing that's helped both programs here.
Coach, one last question here, and we'll let you guys go. And I think you're right. You're around the same age as I am, and being a young coach at William Penn, and now you're in your, how many years is it now you've been at the program?
It's 5.5. It's going on
5.5. Yep. So these guys are all your recruits, your guys that, a part of this program. Looking back at your first year, you're full of energy, you've got goals, you think you can take over the world, to today. Do you have a different kind of look at just kind of what your role is for a program, and and represent and leading these young young men into life?
Yeah, I would say it kind of has evolved. Yeah, I think when I first took over, everybody, and I think I knew and had been told and kind of experienced that, success takes time. But I think there was still that part of me that's like, hey, I'm gonna turn this thing around in a short time frame, and we're gonna jump levels and be there. But it took time. And I think that, as I evolved as a coach, because I think I learn each year, at least I try to learn and get better as a coach. And I think that I have, it may sound a little bad, but I think I stopped focusing so much on the wrestling and started to focus more on the individual. Not that the wrestling and the technique is not important, because it is. You got to know how to wrestle, and you got to have the technique. But like I tell our guys many times, the best wrestler doesn't win the match. There's a lot of other factors that um, go into wrestling in a wrestling match. And I think probably early on that, we didn't have the best athletes and we weren't the best team. So, I wanted to make sure that if we weren't having success on the mat, I wanted to make sure that I was helping these guys have success in life. And I think that helped me kind of, because in the grand scheme of things, I love wrestling, and I love, we all want to win. But it's really the best thing about wrestling is who you become. And I think that's what we all really want, is for us to learn from wrestling and take the lessons we've learned and transition that into life, into being a man and a husband and a father. And, I think that's kind of a little bit more of my focus, which I think helps us become the best wrestlers that we can be. And so focusing a lot on the heart and focusing a lot on the mind, and shifting so much focus on just the X's and O's and the technique of wrestling. So I would say that's kind of how I've evolved and grown and matured as a coach, is trying to keep the most important things.
Well, Kel, it sounds like this guy to your right that's a reason why you came here, right? And that's a great answer, Coach. And I appreciate you guys. I'm excited for the program. I'm excited for the life into the program of commit, bringing the two together. It's great for our sport. When one program fizzles a little bit, I'm just really excited that you guys were there. It's great for you guys, obviously, and great for your athletes. So that's the name of the game. So, Kale, I'm glad that you came back out for wrestling, dude. Take advantage of this opportunity, and we look forward to what you can do in a very tough Heart conference. Thanks for coming, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. Appreciate it.